Hi, he's David.
And he's Dirk.
He likes pina coladas.
And he likes getting caught out in the rain.
Together we are...
Two.
Dave.
Today we're doing a review on a film called...
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
U.N.C.L.E.
Because it's an acronym.
Latest
film from Guy Ritchie, featuring Henry Cavill as Napoleon Solo and Armie Hammer. Armie is Arnie, it's an M. Armie Hammer as Ilya Korolenko. I can't quite remember what his surname was.
He's Russian.
Yeah.
In the film, and the other guy is American. Along with female roles who carry alongside him.
Yes, there's good female roles and plenty of action and suaveness.
Yeah, it's actually based
on a 60s TV series.
So they probably referenced a lot from it, but we weren't alive in the 60s.
So let's start off with the positives as normal. So Liam.
Okay, positives. This film is smartly directed in the sense that visually appealing. And there are scenes that are well done, like where music is playing, no one's speaking, but what you're seeing while the music is playing is really comes hand in hand.
Okay.
I
understood none of that, but I'll roll with it.
Cool. Music score was good.
Yes, it was. It had a great score.
And I don't know. I just think it was well filmed.
Yeah. My more specific points are in this, but the two leads, as aforementioned, Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill. They both do a really good job in this. Henry Cavill plays Napoleon Solo, this super suave CIA agent who used to be a robber person.
Yeah, he used to be in prison for robbing loads of art during a war and stuff.
Yeah.
The end of a war.
A sort of like roguish type, while
roguish spy type.
While his counterpart is Ilya Korolenko, I believe his name is. I'm not entirely sure what his surname was. It was very Russian.
It's a Russian name.
Yeah, it's very Russian and nowhere near as memorable as Solo.
Napoleon Solo.
Yeah. He's played quite brilliantly by Armie Hammer, who does a great job throughout.
I don't remember the girl's name.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the woman who goes through the movie with them. Yeah, who starts off as a mechanic in the start of the film, and is a really good accomplice for them. So, and then that, as we say, the special effects were quite good. For the most part, quite good, and the score was pretty great. Mostly well shot. So.
I hate to put it like this, but there's a lot of spy banter. In the sense that the Russian and the American spy had funny things going, they're like competing in a sense.
Yes, the interplay between the two characters was brilliant, and the way they sort of like interacted with each other is really good as well. I think we'll save that kind of stuff for the spoilers.
It's not really spoilers though, just
we'll save the specifics for the spoilers. Yeah, that was really well done. Any broader points? Broader points you'd like to pull into the positives? Yeah, things aren't spoilery.
No.
So you're all good.
I'm good for the positives. I've said my positives. Well filmed.
Yeah, it was also really well filmed with some great shots. So I think that brings us on to the negatives, and it's my turn to start because it always is with the negatives. And
Mr. Negative. Nah, he goes into the technical side of negatives usually.
So the negatives on this, there are a couple scenes where the action isn't shot as well as it could have been. There are some great action shots in this, but it very much falls into Rogue Nation's hole of sort of like shaky and irregular camera work during certain fight scenes. And there's even one particular fight scene which you don't see in this, which I think would have really worked, because it's like in the middle of the movie and the big Russian character goes to beat up these three sort of like lanky Italian dudes, but we don't see it. We just understand that they were beaten down, and like I think that would have been fun to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because those three were dicks, and
like you're showing these guys like you're not meant to like, and then they cover up like he's beating them up kind of thing. They don't show it.
Seems. I don't think it's too spoilery. It's just a one-time gag, and it's not necessary to the plot. It just seems like such a waste of a good character and a good setup, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I was going, yeah, beat them down. It's like, oh, I don't get it. It's just guts, right? Would you like to have any other negatives?
I couldn't really get into the film until at least 2/3 of the way in. I don't know if that's just the way I watch films or if it wasn't linked to my humour or anything, but I just couldn't. I felt like it didn't really grip me until later on in the film. Like the first half hour, maybe hour, I don't know, I couldn't grab it. But that could just be me not linking with the old style of spy film, I guess.
Yeah, I like the old James Bond movies and that kind of thing. So I quite liked the relatively cheesy opening to this, because this film did get very cheesy at times. But so at this point, that's like a sort of like subjective thing.
Yeah, humour's specific to it. Feels like maybe it's more of a mature humour.
Yeah, I think this is a film that it's safe to say would appeal to some people more than others.
Yeah, and I would like that. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get into it as much as this guy could.
Yeah, I generally enjoyed it more. Not to say that we both didn't enjoy it.
I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, some of the special effects on this were very ropey. For the most part, it was perfectly fine. There were some scenes where they just smothered CGI all over, and it was like green screen and totally fake areas, and it all looked way fake.
Super fake.
There was also lens flares.
Lens flare, camera shack.
Yeah, it was like lens flares for no real reason I could discern. Like, they didn't fit with the sort of 60s spy movie aesthetic they were going for. It was just like, for a moment, J.J. Abrams got hold of the post-production team and added a whole load of lens flares and ran. It just felt rather weird.
Have we mentioned the whole fight scenes, camera not sticking on the...
Yeah, I mentioned, I sort of touched on that, but there is some messy camera work in this. Some of it is pretty great.
They do some interesting shots.
They do some great shots, but some of the last fight in particular, the sort of like big climax chase, has some pretty bad shaky cam in there at some points.
Could have been a better chase, really, couldn't it?
If they'd have shot it better, it could have been way better. But the shaky cam dragged it way down.
And close-ups, constant close-ups of different people, so you don't even know what's going on properly.
Yeah.
I felt that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like me a good close-up.
Yeah, definitely.
But the way they were trying to do it, not good. Which I think brings us to the spoilers.
Spoilers! You've been spoiled. I mean, warned.
You've been spoiled.
Spoiled. Okay. I like the beginning of the film. Wait, no. There's this part at the beginning of the film where there's like this car chase and stuff, and they pretty much crash a car into a wall. And that's pretty cute.
That cute?
Yeah. It's just like, well, what we gonna do now, idiot? And he's like, well, this was intentional.
Yeah, that was a great bit. The like
nice.
Chase sequence at the start is really, really clever, because it shows you just how comically suave and prepared the character of Napoleon Solo is.
Yeah.
That one scene where he just
Smooth talk.
crashes it into the car. It's like, well, now he winds it down. We go out through the window.
And it's like the window of the apartment outside the car door window. Like, oh.
Yeah, I mean it's all done, done so very well, and he's always again he never becomes fuss during the whole thing. He's always calm, careful, scream silence on his gun kind of thing.
He can keep calm pretty much in any situation.
Yeah, he doesn't get fussed. He doesn't get fussed. While on the flip side, the Russian guy is just relentless throughout.
He emotional and stuff.
Yeah, the Russian guy throughout that opening chase sequence is fantastic. There is one bit where he's grabbing onto the back of the car and actually slowing them down.
He's hench. He's portrayed as hench.
Yeah, and he just actually ends the chase by yanking the back of the car off, and that is a particularly fantastic moment. There's also some split screen, some very interesting use of split screen in this.
Yeah.
Like bits where it splits into even 7 or 8 different splits throughout a very wide screen.
It's almost like a montage of split screen.
It's like somebody said, "How many times should we split this screen?" All of them.
8. Split it again.
More splits.
Move it around. Slideshow effects.
Yeah, and they had like the splits moving, morphing into each other, and rolling down the side as one thing happened. But they were like all slightly different splits that were actually, some of them were the same thing, split into 3 concurrent set images.
It got a bit messy.
It was messy but cool.
Yeah, stylized mess. Good mess. Good mess.
Like, if you focused on one thing, on like one particular split, as it all went, you'd have been roughly okay. If you tried to take the entire split in, which like fills most of your vision, that's difficult. That would be quite difficult if you actually tried to do that. And I believe you tried that, didn't you?
What?
To take in the entire split.
I was going, okay, I'm just going to assume they're all breaking in somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, it felt like it could have been better executed, but in a way it was also
stylized.
really stylish and really cool to see. So I'm glad it was in there. I just would like it to have been done a bit better. The villain in this was pretty fantastic as well. Again, I can't quite remember her name, but
she was blonde, kind of colored, bill-like.
Yeah, also like a weird mix of Audrey Hepburn and Cruella de Vil. And it was like this really glamorous, dangerous femme fatale. Telling this, who for the most part is portrayed as a very ruthlessly competent villain who knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, without coming off as evil, it's just I'm doing this, blah 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 and stuff.
Yeah, like you know she's a villain because it's kind of shown at the start of the movie. This lady is the villain.
She is evil.
Yeah. I mean, that is their briefing. This lady is evil.
I didn't actually know she was evil. That wasn't made clear to me until she poisoned his drink.
Were you not paying attention to when they got briefed?
It got confusing. And I remember she went to the apartment to go... I think that was when I started clocking on that she was the bad guy, when she went to his apartment to check if he was there.
And
that was when I noticed it.
Yeah. And then she...
Apparently they banged. So that was weird. So yeah, the good guy banged the bad guy. It didn't make sense. But
yeah,
it happened.
That's the thing. That's the thing. There's also actually quite a nice little romance that kind of blossoms between the Russian guy and the woman who goes with them, who's later revealed to be a British agent.
Another spy.
Yeah. So they're like all spies.
They're all spies, all 3 of them.
Yeah. But she was probably in the original series, but I don't know.
They all may have been.
Yeah, they all may have been, but sorry, she had like a particularly nice, or kind of like you weren't entirely sure
wasn't.
she was just going along with it for the sake of cover with the big Russian guy, or whether she actually was starting to fall in love with the Russian guy. It was very, very interesting and very well done.
And at the end, it kind of makes it a lot clearer up close, like more likely that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and again the interplay between the Russian and but he definitely does, between the Russian guy and the American guy is fantastic. In which Napoleon wakes up and he finds a bug in a mug. He gets out his little bug finding device and finds like 7 or 8 of them. Just knocks on Ilya's door and goes like, "These are Russian made." Just chucks all the bugs at him and dumps it. And then Ilya just goes into his apartment, disappears for about 10 or so seconds, and then comes back and does exactly the same. "These are American made." That was
quite bad technology.
Yes, and then he just takes a moment to slag them off. It's brilliant. Also, the 60s aesthetic was really fun too.
Yeah.
Like the whole, look of everything.
And the phone in the bag.
Yeah.
That was their mobile.
Mm-hmm. It just sounds like it was good to see that some like 60s kind of like area thing. Like glamorous 60s, that's cool.
Yeah. Shall we mention the boat scene?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I think even though I wasn't a massive fan of the whole like beginning of the film, there was this scene, boat scene where they were both escaping on this boat, and then Napoleon fell off the boat, but the Russian guy thought he was still on the boat, and then he got in a truck. Wait, no, you word this better for me.
Yeah, but you started it.
Russian guy's driving a boat from people shooting at him, but the American guy has fallen out and he swam to shore. He's now in a truck and he's just sitting there, but instead of like hearing all the gunshots and things, you just hear music, him changing the radio. While this boat's still going around like being chased, he's just there chilling, and then he pulls out a bottle of like wine or something and starts drinking it, watching as this Russian guy is going, "Ah!" And eventually it's just such a good scene. I think it's just really well set, and the way the music's playing, and then eventually the dude just drives his truck and lands on the bad guy's boat. But the Russian guy's boat's already sinking at this point, and he just goes and saves him.
Yeah, that was a good.
I'd advise watching it. My explanation was terrible, but it's a nice scene.
It is a great scene, and I will have to I would have to add one. I'd say it's my final spoiler point, and it's sort of negative. It's a negative one, but
you can do this. Negative spoiler.
What was that? He was like, "You can do this."
Because usually spoilers are good, but you've got your first negative spoiler.
Yeah, this is a negative spoiler here.
I'm preparing myself.
And it's pretty broad. The whole film plays out like a checklist of spy movie cliches. You've got your double cross happening, got nukes, you've got femme fatale, you've got the main character has sex with a pretty lady. You've got
2 people.
Two pretty ladies. There was a side boob in this.
There was?
There was a side boob. There was like a fast car chase. All of it is done is fantastically executed. But the whole thing feels like just going through the motions. It wasn't trying to bring anything particularly new or impressive to the table.
It was a spy film.
Yeah, its greatest strength lay in its execution, not the story it was executing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could essentially sum this up with blah 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 spies, blah 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 nukes, blah 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 lady, blah 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 evil.
Blah blah blah, kill a bad guy, blah blah blah, girl gets with a good guy, blah blah blah.
You can tell from that. Yeah, you can tell from that just how the film plays out broadly. There's not a lot to it,
which makes up for it.
Yeah, there's not a lot to it as regards like proper depth, but it's not a horrible film by any standards. It's really well done, really well shot and done. It's a shame the story wasn't particularly interesting, but the performances and everything, I think, broadly made up for it. But so yeah, that the storyline was quite, to the letter, to the point where I was like, okay, now when's that lady gonna double cross someone? I'm expecting a betrayal right about now.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it happened.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, that's it. If you've seen Spy, you've seen the same plot as this movie, just executed differently. And that, I think, is really what sets this film, not really what keeps this film afloat, is its execution. If it were done, if it were like badly filmed or had bad actors, then this would have sunk like a stone.
Yeah.
There would have been nothing to save it. But it's like shot well and things, so it gets over that. But that is a pretty glaring weakness it has.
And then about some of the film?
So, Liam, in conclusion, what are your final
time.
thoughts?
Binary time. Wait, are we?
Yeah,
Final
final
thoughts.
time, final thoughts, yeah.
You should go first. I'm confused.
Okay, my final thoughts on the movie. Despite its flaws, I say it's still a damn fun time. So I give it a 1. It's a fun film. It certainly has flaws, but overall, it's the execution and just sort of tongue-in-cheek self-awareness that keeps this in the sort of cushy, nice, happy comedy end of the spectrum, and also keeps it feeling sort of energetic, almost Saturday morning cartoony kind of vibe to it. It's not a big serious film in any way. This isn't Skyfall. This isn't The Bourne Identity.
But it's not exactly Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but it sits in the more fantasy end. But it's the execution on this one that really carries it through. Yeah?
I think it was... I'm glad I watched it. It was an enjoyable situation. But I don't think I would have gone out my way to watch it on my own. And I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it much if I watched it on my own. Sort of thing. So... And like I said, I don't think the balance was amazing from my perspective, because I didn't get the humour as much as some other people would and things like that. So I guess it's more for a certain audience, and it just didn't grab me as much as I wish it had, which it could have. And but it had good scenes. So I advise watching it for those scenes, but yeah.
So, what's your...
My verdict, I'm going to give it a 0. Don't go see it in cinema. That's my...
So that means for the first time ever we have a 0.5.
Yeah.
That gives us the film a grand score of 1.
Yeah.
So that's... Do go see it if you like cheesy old Bond movies.
Or just for those scenes that we've said are good.
But if you're looking for something way deeper...
If you want a 5-star film, I didn't class it as 5 stars.
Yeah. This sits in the popcorn area of things.
Time filler.
Yeah. Inside Out is still Inside Out.
Let's see Inside Out. That film's great. That's what I mean. Compared to film, I don't know if it's just me comparing, but I'd rather go see Inside Out than I would have wanted to go see this film.
Knowing what we've seen and what I have now, there are
Mission Impossible.
There are better films in cinemas, but
like I said, the
it's
scenes,
not a train wreck. There are things that hold it up.
Even though I said no, I still love certain scenes in it. Sort of thing. And that about sums up Man from Uncle.
Alright then. So that makes it 2D out.
2D out.